three of us, it seems.
Three of us.
Welcome to the Tibet Center, here at 502 North Ridgewood Road in South Orange, New Jersey. So we will begin with the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all people living there, together with their near ones who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious ones' teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we had hoped and wished. Now the Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the Dharmas, called profound illumination. And at the same time Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, "How should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge?" And Avalokiteshvara answered, "Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge, and since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Para Samgate Bodhisvaha. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that Samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, "Good, good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice." When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering, and the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praise the Blessed One, the words of the Blessed One. Generating bodhicitta. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So, let's do a rosary of Om Mani Padme Hum. Hello, how are you? These people haven't arrived yet. Yes, they're parking. So, as you recite Om Mani Padme Hum, really think of developing this wish to remove the suffering of others. And if you want to, you can think of the meaning of the mantra. Om, composed of A, U, Ma, representing the body, speech, and mind of ourselves in their impure state, and the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha in his fully enlightened state. Mani represents the method aspects of our practice. Padme represents the wisdom aspect of our practice. These two united are represented by Hum. When we unite the wisdom and method aspects, that is the way by which we purify our body, speech, and mind, going from the Om in its impure form, which we represent, to the Auma, Om of a fully enlightened Buddha. So Om Mani Padme Hum. Okay, Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So, I think the bus must have broken down.
There's a parking problem. There's always a parking problem near here.
So, we were discussing meditation, concentration. We reached page 161. At the top. And so we were discussing, we will do it this evening as well. We were concentrating on the breath, bringing the mind and the breath together calms you down. And this process of developing concentration, calm abiding as it's called, is considered not to be either virtuous or non-virtuous. Concentration is neutral, and its quality is determined by what we concentrate on. So if we use this concentration to really focus our anger at someone, then concentration becomes non-virtuous. If we focus on, we really experience compassion, it's virtuous. And eventually, this concentration is vital for truly experiencing, realizing the lack of self. One has to go through a process of logically ascertaining that there is no self. And one has to arrive at an inference of that emptiness of self or lack of self, and then place the focus of one's concentration on that ascertainment, on that the result of the logical reasoning that establishes no self. So that this concentration is like a tool that has to be used to deepen or to develop a greater experience of whatever it is that it is focused on. And as we discussed last week, concentration is the kind of concentration we're talking about here, this calm abiding, is something that we have to work at slowly but steadily in our lives to truly develop full calm abiding. Is something that we have to prepare ourselves for over maybe lifetimes. It's rare that someone really has the ability to devote himself or herself to this practice of concentration as it is explained in the texts. Last week we went over the prerequisites. You should have no attachment to the quality of your clothes, your possessions. You have to be. You have to have a calm place. You have to have a place where the people whom you may be living with are supportive of your practice. You have to be in a place that is free of the wild animals that could attack you. What are some of the other things that
you need water.
Sorry?
Water.
Clean
water. You should
water.
have pure water. A place to shelter.
A protected, supportive
Yes.
environment.
Yes.
So all of those things, I mean, of course, we can find a nice, comfortable place to meditate, but to do so without any concern for our things is less easy. Without any, and it's not that we aspire to not care about, let's say, the quality of our clothing. It's that we should be free of any such concerns. We should be totally comfortable or happy with whatever we have. It's that satisfaction with what we have, which is a sign that we will be ready to engage in this process leading to a mind that remains focused on its object with vitality, with clarity for as much as 4 hours, without any need for effort. It just is there in that state, and that state should have a certain accompanying vitality to it. But though this is something that we may not be ready for, it is something that we can work towards. It is something that we can prepare the foundation for, and that's where we are. So, to 160. At the outset, I should sound a note of caution. As the beginning meditator will quickly discover, the mind is like a wild horse. Like a wild horse, it takes a long time, as well as familiarity with the person who wishes to tame it, before it will settle down and obey commands. Similarly, only with gentle persistence over an extended period will the real benefits of meditation become apparent. Of course, it is all right to set aside just a few days to try out a short program of mental training, but it is wrong to judge the results before you have really given it a chance. It may take months, even years, to realize its full benefits. I'll say maybe even lifetimes. As I mentioned last week, within the monastery where people prepare for this, it's only very few who are ready to go off into the mountains and devote themselves to really developing calm abiding. And as I mentioned, it is said that in life we have one opportunity. Once we set ourselves to do this, if we are not ready, we can go crazy. It can actually lead one to mental damage if we push ourselves too hard when we're not ready. But there was a meeting, I think it was a Mind and Life meeting, and there was a wonderful Catholic abbot, I don't remember his name, American. He's since passed away, but his monastery was in Massachusetts, and someone was talking about the dangers of developing calm abiding when one wasn't ready, and how this pushing oneself could cause the energies in one's body to sort of go in the wrong, go wrong, and could cause one to go crazy. And this wonderful elder monk, Catholic, said, well, if you sit in a car and you wait for all the potholes in the road to be paved, you could be sitting there a long time. I think it's best to work at meditating. And so it is with that that we proceed. As to the specifics of practice, early morning is generally the best time of day. At that time, the mind is at its freshest and clearest. However, it is important to remember that if you are to practice well in the early morning, you need to have had a good night's sleep beforehand. For myself, I must say that I have been most fortunate when it comes to sleep. Despite rising every morning around 3:30 a.m., on average, I make sure that I get 8 or 9 hours of sound sleep. For a lot of people, this may be difficult to arrange. If, for example, there are young children in the house, it may not be possible to meditate during the early hours. If this is the case, it will probably be better to find some other time to practice, preferably after a short nap or when the children are out of the house. I should also point out that the mind will tend to be sluggish if you have eaten a lot beforehand. Ideally, you should not eat too much in the evening if you hope to practice well the following morning. As to the amount of time you should aim to set aside for meditation, in the early stages, even 10 to 15 minutes per session is quite adequate. In fact, it is much better to have modest ambitions than to embark on an unsustainable program, which is more likely to put you off than to help you ingrain a habit. And it's said that when you meditate, you have your meditation cushion, and you should always get up from it with enthusiasm, while still enthusiastic, so that when you see your meditation cushion, you have a certain enthusiasm and wish to sit back down and meditate. If you push yourself too hard, and when you get up, you look at it and think, oh, that's no good. It is also helpful to plan to practice for a few minutes several times during the day in addition to the main session. As you keep a fire going by stoking it every so often, you can maintain the continuum of your meditation by topping it up. And every now and again, so that what you gained earlier does not fade away entirely by the time you begin the next proper session. Regarding where to practice, it is said in the classical training manuals that sound is like a thorn in the mind. For most people, therefore, it is very painful, very helpful to find somewhere to sit where we will not be disturbed by noise. Obviously, too, it is a good idea to switch off the telephone before starting, but none of this is to say that meditation cannot be practiced more or less anywhere or at any moment of the day. I'm talking here just about the ideal. Personally, I find it a good use of time to meditate when traveling. So, anytime you want to interrupt, talk, mention something, please do. As to the physical posture appropriate for meditation, any position that is comfortable will do. Though if you become too comfortable, there is a danger that you may drift off to sleep. That said, it can be helpful to adopt what is usually called the lotus position, in which you cross your legs with each foot resting on the opposite thigh. One advantage of this position is that in addition to keeping you warm, it keeps your back quite straight. At first it may be uncomfortable, in which case simply sitting with your legs crossed some of the time is all right, as indeed is sitting on a chair, if that position is also difficult. Similarly, for those who, on account of their faith tradition, prefer to meditate while kneeling, that too is all right. You should choose whatever position you find least distracting. If you do choose the lotus position, you can place your hands in a relaxed position with the back of the right hand resting on the palm of the left. Allow the elbows to rest loosely, pushed out a bit from the body so that there is a gap which the air can pass through. Often it is helpful to sit on a cushion which is raised slightly in the back. This helps straighten the backbone, which ideally should be kept straight as an arrow, with just the neck bent a little downward. Keeping the tip of the tongue touching the palate helps prevent thirst, which can set in as a result of certain breathing exercises. The lips and teeth can be left as usual. So far as the eyes are concerned, you can discover for yourself what position works best for you. Some people find that meditating with their eyes open is most effective. Others find this very distracting. For most, half closing the eyes is generally best, but some find it helpful to close them completely. Okay, so why don't we try this? Buddy? So, full, can you do the full?
I can do, I know I can do half, definitely, but full, I haven't tried that in a little while.
I have a knee problem.
Me too. Two knee problem. Very good. So you should have can you give one of those pillows to, you should put that underneath your bottom.
But actually, it's not correct to point the feet at the altar, is it? Well, I mean, I don't have anything to do with this foot, since
Yeah.
I can't bend my knee. But my foot is pointing at the altar and images. That's not correct, is it?
No, if your legs are pointing out like that
Yeah.
towards the alternate images, that would be incorrect.
Wait, like this.
But if you're sitting as you are, there's no problem.
This is like.
Let's go do this.
For now. I'll be impressive for 2 minutes.
Put one of those little pillows under your
I have
bottom.
one. It's not helping.
Oop, we nearly lost you there. Okay. So, the legs, your spine should be straight. Straight as an arrow. With your head slightly inclined forward. Your arms are not touching against you, not sticking way out, but sort of comfortably like that. And they say you look down the slant of your nose. Either close your eyes or keep them a little bit open. And you have your right hand on your left at your resting on your thighs, I suppose. So let's do the exercise we did last week, where you watch the breath come in just at the tip of your nostrils. You're not breathing deeply. This is not a breathing exercise in the sense that you are simply watching the breath. You're bringing the mind or your awareness to the breath. And you can count. In, one, out, one, in, two, out, two. And you can go up to 21. And if your mind goes off, as soon as you've caught it going off, bring it back to the breath and start at 1 again. So let's do this for, last time, we'll do it for 5 minutes. Okay. So how was your experience? Did the mind go off in funny places?
It did. And then I, brought myself back and I was like, what was I even thinking about? But it was like a full, I was thinking about what to make Thomas for lunch tomorrow. And then I had to bring it back.
So that's normal. And I think it's important to realize that having caught yourself thinking about Thomas's lunch and having brought your mind back, that's not normal. That's great. And really view this process with enthusiastic, with enthusiasm.
Similar, yeah, just becoming like a little bit distracted here and there, and then coming back. Counting helps a lot to just keep centered and keep focused. But yeah, I felt my mind trying to cook things up. Certainly.
Well, if you felt your mind trying to cook things up as opposed to actually engaging in cooking, that's pretty good.
Mine was the best one I've had in a long time. What about yours?
Good evening. Mine was pretty good. Hello, hello.
We brought pizza for the meditation.
So
Well, we've got the prayers ready
put
for
it
you.
down and come right in.
I don't want to jump ahead, but is meditation always focusing on breathing and not having thoughts come in? Or I remember Tony
Comes in.
mentioning mantras sometimes
So
when meditating.
bringing the mind and the breath together calms you. You then, and we can go on to, we'll wait for Madam to. We can bringing in a thought that we've discussed while studying this book of just as I wish to be happy and others wish to be happy, just as I wish not to suffer, others wish not to suffer, and don't. It's said that it's important to not have it be a general I and others, but just as I wish to be happy, this person wishes to be happy. Just as I wish not to suffer, this person. And think of one person after another. And think of people whom you are friendly with. Think of people whom you feel totally neutral about. And think of people whom you have a certain dislike for, whether you have dislike for them or whether they cause you problems. And what you're working at is recognizing that they wish to be happy and wish not to suffer just the way you do. And think of insects and think of animals. And so we'll devote the same, and we'll do that for 5 minutes. Full. You can begin with just a moment of following the breath and then engage in this. Okay. Okay. Well, just as I want happiness, Buddy wants happiness and doesn't want to suffer. So I should say that these thoughts are to establish equanimity, to establish a sort of equal attitude towards others. If we really think about how those people who cause us problems want happiness as much as we do, are engaging in their actions in pursuit of happiness, just as we engage in our actions in pursuit of happiness. They wish to avoid all suffering. That changes our whole attitude towards them. And when we're calmly thinking about it in this way, we can actually develop a certain empathy towards them and develop some kind of equal attitude towards them, people whom we really don't care about so much or don't have any real relationship with, and people whom we are close to. We see that we're all the same in wishing to be happy and not wishing to suffer. So, is that helpful? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So good to have something to keep you focused, a thought. You're reaching for the next person, and so you're kind of staying on track.
Yes.
The task versus an open-ended.
Well, the breath really helps us calm down. The breath really, when we're able to just, without effort, be there with the breath, we are calm. And the effort that goes into bringing us to that establishes the groundwork for then being able to think about something.
Is the goal of meditation, I guess I should say, what is it beyond the calm? Is that an opportunity to figure it all out, or to offer things to your fellow man or the universe?
So, meditation is developing its familiarity. It's the word for meditation in Tibetan Gom means to familiarize, and you meditate when you think about something, you establish something to be so, or you research something and you arrive at a conclusion that this would be the best, whatever. That whole process is considered to be meditation. Once you have gone through the process, and you want to then remain focused on the resultant attitude, then you apply this form of absorption, or let's say calm abiding or placement meditation, which is what we're doing now, where you simply remain focused on one thing. And you have to go between the two. You have to use we've done this here when we're developing compassion. We have to simply think about compassion won't take us too far. But if we really think about how I suffer, my own, the different layers or levels of suffering, the suffering of suffering, the suffering of change, the all-pervasive suffering that I'm experiencing, and we think of how dependent we are on all others for everything we have, and then we realize that they're suffering in the same way that I am, then out of that will come this attitude of compassion, this attitude of wishing to remove their suffering, and it'll mean something. So the process of going through those thoughts is one aspect of meditation. And then once we have conjured up a certain feeling of compassion, we develop this sort of deeper desire to remove the suffering of the others whom we recognize as being like us and wishing to be free of their suffering. And we hold on to that feeling. we hold on to it, not thinking, not going through thought. So those are ways to use meditation. Meditating on pizza.
We're meditating on cars.
Cars. Vehicles. So this is a vehicle for bringing about a change in our minds. So one of the things that His Holiness says is very helpful when you begin your meditation on calm abiding is to think about the benefits of having a calm, focused mind. So that before the breath, before you maybe it's good to do a little bit of breathing first, because that sort of gets you more concentrated. And then really consider the benefits of having a calm mind, that you are able to focus on what you want to focus it on. And then think about the faults or the disadvantages of not having this, let's say, mental muscle or the muscle of concentration. You think about the benefits, then you think about the disadvantages of not having this, and then you go back and forth between the two. And you arrive at this clear conclusion, and this conclusion of the benefits, or where you recognize the benefit of concentration, that should give a certain enthusiasm to the practice that you then engage in. So these are all aspects or techniques for enhancing meditation. Can really lead one to a certain amount of, let's say, even depression. If you push yourself too hard, if you expect results too quickly, you have to really carefully cultivate the enthusiasm that will lead you to a true experience of it, a true attainment of the ability. I'm talking as if I had any of this. I'm telling you from the book. Yes.
That was really nice.
I read the book. So we're relaxing and settling the mind. Once you are settled, the first thing to do is to take a few deep breaths. Then, breathing normally again, try to focus on your breath, noticing the air as it enters and leaves through the nostrils. So we did that at the very beginning. What you're trying to achieve is a mind in a neutral state, neither positive nor negative. Alternatively, you can take one inhalation and one exhalation while silently counting from 1 to 5 or 7, and then repeat the process a few times. The advantage of this silent counting is that in giving your mind a task to perform, it makes it less likely to be swept away by extraneous thoughts. In either case, spending a few minutes just observing your breathing is usually a good way to achieve a calmer mental state. We can liken this process of settling the mind to dyeing a piece of cloth. While cloth can easily be dyed a different color, but it is difficult to dye a piece of cloth that is already colored unless we want to make it black. In the same way, when the mind is agitated, a positive result is hard to come by. So sometimes you may find it difficult to concentrate at all, because your mind is in the grip of some powerful emotion like anger. At such times, it can be helpful to quietly say a few words over and over. So you are like reciting a mantra. A formula such as, I let go of my afflictive emotions, or for religious believers, a short devotional prayer or mantra repeated a few times can loosen the grip of the emotion. If this technique does not work, then maybe you need to get up and go for a walk, a short walk, before trying again. So this last thing of maybe you should go for a short walk, I think that when we are working on the mind, it's really important not to push too hard. We can really hurt ourselves. We shouldn't be too relaxed. We shouldn't, without making any effort, say, oh, well, maybe I should take a little walk first. No. We have to keep ourselves focused. There may be occasions, especially in the beginning stages, when negative thoughts keep returning after a short time. In such cases, you may find that a whole session is taken up with exercises to calm or still the mind. This is all right. It is still mental training. And I want to say that it's not just all right, it's great. If you have a session where you're spending your whole time really working at diminishing your tendency to think about something that has made you angry, and you're really working at bringing it back in a calm fashion to concentrate on whatever it is you're concentrating on. That's the practice. That's it. And so I think that to be happy with oneself when one is engaging in this, no matter what the challenges are, is important. As you gain some experience of how the mind works and learn that techniques work best for you, what techniques work best for you, you will gradually become familiar with a more neutral state of mind. This alone is good progress. When you've succeeded in establishing a more settled state, perhaps a few minutes into your session, you can then begin the actual work of mental cultivation. In the initial stages of your training, it is best to practice several different exercises successively. To start with, you may find it impossible to keep your mind focused for more than a few minutes, perhaps even just a few seconds, at a time before distraction sets in. This is quite normal. As soon as you realize you've become distracted, just return gently to whatever you were doing before the distraction arose. There should be no anger or self-reproachment when this happens, just a patient recognition of what the mind is doing and a calm redirection of the attention. The important thing is not to become discouraged. So I think that this is really important, and we'll end on this, that this is the actual process of developing concentration. This process of recognizing that that the mind is gone, bringing the mind back and refocusing it. That's what we're doing, and therefore any kind of anger or self-reproach is sort of ridiculous. On the contrary, we should be thrilled, enthusiastic about the fact that we're sitting and trying to tame the mind. Today is the 16th? Okay, do you have any comments or any?
I think it seems appropriate, like when we're in meditation and we're trying to, regain our concentration, to be doing that in our daily lives, obviously, as well. Like, I find myself, in the throes of the day, and then I said I was going to do something, and here I am not doing it, I'm doing something completely different. And the concentration to be able to say, wait, come back to what you were originally doing and the intention of what you were originally doing, that's similar, right?
Right. There was something here that I wanted to. So, Tsongkhapa talks about the fact that you must be able to have continuous enthusiasm for the concentration that causes pliancy, that this what we're aiming towards. To develop this enthusiasm, you need a continuous, intense yearning that is intent on concentration. As a cause for this yearning, you need steadfast confidence in and fascination with the good qualities of concentration. So to start with, cultivate again and again a confidence that is aware of the good qualities of concentration. When you see this process in practice, you will understand this most vital point with the clearest sense of certainty. So I think that this really pertains to what I had mentioned before, that when you begin your session, you really consider the quality, the benefits of this, and the what you call it, the shortfalls of the shortcomings of not having concentration. Spending a little bit of time doing that will lead you to an enthusiasm towards engaging in the practice. Okay. So we've been asked to pray for Chip Henry, a friend of Deb's. So the Sutra of the Recollection of the Noble Three Jewels. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arhat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is the perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He He dwells on the Bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavan. The Holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect, completely pure. It purifies. The Bhagavad teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavad is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great Yana, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, they enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joined palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are filled with glory and merit. They are complete. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure the cause of freedom, virtuous liberating from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate from the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in completely pure realm. The 8 verses on training the mind. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as like illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. Prayer for a swift return. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes, Guru Lobsang Tuwang Doje Chang, please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers, Lord of speech, victorious teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn your activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though it possible to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhicitta, drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly and
supreme emanation,
full holder of the sage's teachings, and swift for visual, return as the glory of Losang Tempe, magnificent truth of the three precious jewels, Mahakala, Kamayama, and Srimati Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossom of the incarnation, fresh from the peace. So, this Saturday we will have a White Tara Puja here in New Jersey at 1 o'clock. Everyone is welcome.